says the defendant rented a brand new condo she owned, had 9 rabbits in the place, and basically trashed the joint when she finally evicted her. She's now faced with huge fines from animal control, has to paint the place, and also has to fumigate it to get the feces smell out. She's suing for $4,394, the money she's owed. This is the defendant, Amy Klasick. She says the plaintiff illegally went into the apartment, took her possessions, and threw them out. The cops almost arrested her 3 times for trespassing, and she finds it almost laughable the plaintiff is actually trying to sue her here and now. She's accused of hopping into a lawsuit. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $1,275 for the return of the security deposit.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
I'm a sucker for a fuzzy bunny that needs to be rescued.
So, how many bunnies do you run into who need to be rescued?
Quite a few people that had bought them for children, couldn't take care of them, places that had neglected them, they ended up with me.
7 bunnies? Were you breeding them?
No, ma'am.
What are these pictures of the apartment?
Mm-hmm.
How did you...
The defendant says the plaintiff had no right to break in Inspector Clouseau's style. It's the case of you silly wabbit.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Angela...
Felice.
Felice, you are suing Amy Klasick for $4,394 in damages that you say she did to the condo that she rented from you. You are counterclaiming against her your security deposit, which you want back. Yes. Tell me what happened.
I have tried to do anything that I can possibly do for Amy to comply with the rules and regulation of the association. Actually, having 9 rabbits in the unit.
She had 9 rabbits in the unit?
Yes, she did. So I got the picture.
How many rabbits did you have?
7.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I missed 2. Sorry.
How did you have so many rabbits?
I'm a sucker for a fuzzy bunny that needs to be rescued.
So, how many bunnies do you run into who need to be rescued?
Quite a few people that had bought them for children, couldn't take care of them, places that had neglected them, they ended up with me.
7 bunnies? Were you breeding them?
No, ma'am.
What are these pictures of the apartment?
Mm-hmm.
Ew. How did you... Ew. Why were you in the apartment to take pictures? How'd you get in? Why were you in there?
The inspection, the lease was up to renewal. So it was for me to decide whether I was going to renew the lease or not. Evidently, I was not going to renew the lease on January 1st. It was up on January 4th. She has the note at the door that I will not renew the lease.
And why? Because of the bunny thing?
Yeah, she will not comply. I said, just get those rabbits out of my condo. I mean,
and what did she say?
Actually, I never see her. Every time I went there was with the police, so she wasn't there. So I live.
Why were you going in with the police?
Because I leave the note that I need to inspect the property, and that she was not available ever to inspect the property. So, you know, as the landlord, we have the right to go.
So the police accompanied you?
Yes. Mm-hmm. I have the police.
So when you took these pictures, the police were next to you?
Mm-hmm. I got the police.
And so the rabbits are all over. 1 rabbit is in a cage, or 2, or more than 1. I can't tell. And then the others are just roaming free, and there's bunny poop all over the place. I mean, all over the place.
The police report.
How do you, if you walk in shoes, you'll crush it into the cup. If you walk barefoot, it's even worse. How do you get around in your apartment?
I understood that my apartment was not stellar at that point, but when I came home, my smaller animals were typically gated into my kitchen to keep them corralled. I came home that day, my gates were down, they were suddenly all over the place. The place was a mess. I said, okay, fine, I understand my laundry's out, things like that. My animals do not typically roam free. However...
So what are you saying? Does she open up the gate and let them loose?
I'm not saying that she did that.
Because you'd have to be all kinds of patient with the police waiting there for them to poop this much all over your carpeting to have this much poop photographed.
Considering when I had spoken to Officer Palacio, who was the officer who responded that day, he informed me that Miss Felice was already in my unit when he arrived.
Do you have a police report that says that? Does anybody have the police report?
I do, yeah.
Okay. May I see it? I can't tell from reading the report. It certainly doesn't say what you say, which is when I got there, Felice was already inside. What it says is I met her, the owner and landlord of this apartment. Angela advised me that today was the last day of the 7-day eviction notice, and she wanted to see if Amy complied with the notice and moved out. That sounds like they met before walking in, but I can't really tell. What is this? Did you end up getting evicted?
Yes.
Okay. And how long did it take you to get out?
It took me about a month.
Okay, what day did you leave?
I left on March 31st.
All right, now you are telling me that you were entitled to $4,394 because you had to paint the condo, clean the condo to the tune of $500, and put in new carpeting.
And I want you, could you please give this to the judge? And damages, actually, carpet needs to be replaced with the padding, urine.
Did you actually replace the carpet?
Yep, Home Depot. And,
okay, do you have the bill from the carpet?
Yep, and I got the good deal, too.
These pellets are really disgusting. I mean, and the carpet is completely shot. When did you put in that carpet?
Home Depot on the 40th.
No, not the new one.
In 06.
In 06. Okay, do you have the receipt from 06? Let me see.
She's a sucker for a fuzzy bunny. Will the defendant get nearly...
Okay. These are Home Depot receipts. Don't just hand me everything together. Are you saying that Cheryl's Interiors did the work?
Yes.
They did the painting, and that's why you're asking for $1,495 for painting?
The painting and the...
And the cleaning.
Right.
And this entire residence needed to be deep cleaned with disinfectant and disinfected before it was healthy for me and my crew to work. The home was overrun with filth from what had to have been numerous animals. Masks and rubber gloves had to be worn. The health risk was very high due to urine and feces embedded into the carpeting, $500. All right, now, what I want to see is how you paid it, okay? Show me the canceled check where you actually paid it, because I have to know that you didn't just cook this up for court and type this up on a... Do you understand? Because it's just typewritten on a computer. Do you have proof you paid $2 grand in labor?
Not here, but I can... here.
I mean, here's when you need it. What's your response to this?
I understood that the carpet, that she would have an issue with the carpet. I actually had the carpet steam cleaned before I left.
You had the carpet steam cleaned before you left?
Yes, ma'am, I have pictures.
Come here, my dear. Let me see if I'm looking at the same carpet you are.
I can find you that corner if you'd like.
Yeah. I mean, it still doesn't look good. It still needs, it's disgusting, right? Because if it has urine that's soaking through.
It still definitely needed to be cleaned. And
Cleaned? You cleaned it. This is how it looked after it was cleaned, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't do that to other people's property. You know, you can do it to your own if you want. If you want to live like that, that's completely your privilege, okay? What was the sign that you had on your refrigerator?
I believe it said, "Don't my little bunnies."
All right, go ahead and go back. I'll take these. Let me look at these. Were you going to just leave this alone and just sort of say, okay, she took my security deposit? Because you figured that the $1,200 would be adequate compensation?
Yes.
All righty then. Here's a part in people's court that we do what we call a little rough justice. Because I have a little bit of a problem. Some things you have to do as a landlord when someone who's been there 3 years moves. Some things you don't. Obviously, you have put her in a position where she had to do a lot more than the average bear would have because, frankly, this place was disgusting. I'm a little bit concerned about the kind of proof that she's providing me because she wants $2,000 for something that literally is just a piece of paper typed up on a computer, and I'm taking that into account. So what I have to do then is I have to look at the pictures, and I have to determine how much she's entitled to based on the damage that I'm seeing. And the fact that the carpet did need replacing, taking into account that there was a carpet there for 3 years and now there will be a brand new carpet. So I will obviously take that into account in adjusting it. All right?
You don't know. I just wanted her to get out of there. I mean, I just needed...
Sometimes you just got to cut your losses.
I just needed, I mean, let me tell you.
Sometimes you got to cut your losses. I find that there are $2,500 worth of damages. I find that you already have $1,275 in a security deposit, and therefore I order you to pay the plaintiff, and I enter a judgment in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of $1,225. As for your counterclaim, I'm taking that into account already in there. Okay?
Thank you.
Well, here comes the defendant. Come on out here and give us a little idea what you think of this outcome.
I expected to have to replace the carpet as well as the doors, which is not heartbreaking.
Where does that love of the bunny rabbit thing come from?
It comes from not having enough time to have dogs.
Yeah, so 9 rabbits running all over. And
7.
7 rabbits.
7.
Only 7, all right. The conditions are a little bit...
the conditions
you know,
were what they were at the time. Unfortunately, like I said, the apartment was entered into illegally when those pictures were taken, and quite honestly, I wouldn't put anything past her at this point.
Okay, right down there. And okay, so come on in here, and you satisfied how this case comes out?
Yeah. I was expecting a little more, but I guess I wasn't prepared enough to do it. You know.
Well,
but
is it worth it just to get her out?
Yeah, yeah. I'm happy that it's over and done.
What's the matter? You don't like bunnies? Bunny rabbits?
Not about 8 of them. Not about 8 of them.